Walkmans and Discmans. Walkmans and Discmans. And back then it was like a huge deal to have a Discman that was anti-skip. So like if you bumped into anything, you were still jamming.
You-
Nothing stopped.
Real Talk with Scorpio, season 9. I got a special guest with me today. He was on the podcast before. We were talking about his life and his goals and what he does for a living. And this man inspires me because doing stand-up comedy for a while, I really appreciate some of the posts that he puts up because it has me on the ground. And I only could invite GQ to do this special episode be called Remember When.
Remember
GQ,
when?
welcome to Real Talk with Scorpio. How you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, man. I'm doing well. Blessed, healthy, family's doing good. I have no complaints.
And your son's doing well.
Yes, yes.
How old now?
He just turned 6 this past November, and it doesn't feel real because I was looking at some old pictures of him where he used to just come up to like, past my knee. Now he's like past my hip. It's crazy to watch them grow. And
Yeah.
then to visit other people that haven't seen him in a long time, go, oh my God, he's gotten so big. And then I'm like, really? Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess he has.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's hard to tell when you're seeing him all the time
Mm.
versus when somebody you see him disappear for a couple of months, come back and go, oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's
So
walking, he's talking, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
walking to climbing stuff. They call him Spider-Man and at the center that he goes to because um he climbs, there's a rock climbing wall in one of the sensory rooms. He
Mm.
climbs it with no help all the way to the ceiling.
Oh,
So they call him Miles Morales in there. So
oh, yes. Yo, you're gonna get him on the comics, right?
oh,
You're at,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. All of his he has so much comic book clothing that
Mm.
he really has no excuse. He's
Mm.
gonna get to he's gonna get to a point where he's gonna be like, hey dad, so who's this on my shirt? Who's this on my socks?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, son, thought you'd never ask. And then I start the story. So
True that. All
yeah.
right. Before we start our list, so sorry, I'm still laughing. I'm still laughing. Before we start our list, I have 10 remember whens. GQ has 10 remember whens.
Mhm.
Let me know what you're doing because in the first podcast we touched on everything, from birth in your life to what you're doing now. But
Mhm.
what are you doing right now? We haven't talked in nowhere
So
else.
so I got a new business venture. It's called Quintessential Media.
Mm,
And I have three categories of the business under that one umbrella. So the entire company is called Quintessential Media. The three categories. One of them is Q Media Interactive, and I own a 360 video booth. I'm also going to own a Magic Mirror photo booth very soon, so that's going to be down the line. And that I do at live events, parties, weddings, that kind of thing. So, and it's been a pretty big hit thus far. Um, the other category I have is Q Media Creative, and that basically that entails a lot of my podcasts, short films, sketches, stuff like that. It's the creative side of things, and that's where those people falls under that category.
mm,
And then you have Q Media Collaborative, and that's where I help people with video production projects, audio production projects, live streaming, that kind of thing. And my goal, it may sound ambitious, but my goal is to eventually have a building in which it's like a one-stop shop. Imagine a place. It's like a boys and girls club or a gym, but for creatives. Where
mm.
instead of going to a studio and paying per hour, which is super expensive, you could pay a monthly fee depending on the tiers. You could pay a monthly fee that'll give you access to like a podcast studio or video editing suite, photo production, photo shoots, Like I want to be able to have like a creative incubator for up and coming creators to become creative entrepreneurs and have a base of operations to start their business at.
Mm, amazing, amazing. Um, let the people know. So you're talking about you're gonna be having it in Florida. So you're in Florida, I'm in
Yeah, I'm
Toronto.
in Florida, but I am very, very open minded to expansion.
Okay.
Because I feel that it's not just Florida that has these up and coming creative ideas for people that want to turn their talents into a business. And I
Yep.
want to be able to provide some means or tool to allow them to use that to get to the next step.
I like that. It's like a hub for everything that is
Yes.
necessary
Yes.
for the people with these creative minds too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Resource. Oh,
And maybe certain people don't have, like, let's say you have a content creator, but they don't have the means or a space to shoot some of the things they want to shoot. That's where I would come in, where I would have the space where they pay a monthly fee, and depending on what level that they pay for, they can have access to the content creation rooms. They can have access to computers where they can edit their work and upload and stuff like that. So,
amazing. I gotta have you back on then. You know that
oh,
when
absolutely,
things starts
absolutely,
taking off,
yeah, man.
foundation building. All right. Thanks for the update. Let's get into this list. And if anybody's listening or watching, um, I'm gonna put something up on Spotify, Apple. I'll put a question up so people can drop if we didn't get every remember when, or on YouTube. If anyone out there has something that they want to add, just put it in the comments.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when you post this, I'm gonna send some pictures that match what we talk about. So if you wanna, you post some pictures side by side so people can get like an illustration of what we're talking about.
Let's do
You'll
it.
you'll have them. So I'll send it to you after the show.
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. My first remember when, number one, before PVRs and streaming, commercials used to be 2 and 2. We had like 2 minutes and 2 seconds to get a drink. So I
Mhm.
was in the house, so I had to run upstairs and come
So
back
it's 2 minutes.
down.
I was like, well, four commercials each.
There you go, man.
Yep.
And you can't pause it. You can pause live TV. I remember I used to watch the show Love Connection, and he used to
Okay.
say back in 2 and 2. But that was one of the things I remember, man. That hurts, man. You know what I mean? You miss
Mm-hmm.
like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, a minute of your show because you have
Yep.
to do something, man.
I have something that's pretty much on that same category.
Mm.
So for mine, I got VHSs and DVDs.
There you go.
Man, like you show somebody a VHS and it looks completely foreign now because it's at the point where now Blu-rays
Mm.
are almost obsolete
Yep.
because everything is just digital,
Hmm.
streaming,
Streaming, that's it.
so
And when you just
yeah.
mentioned VHS, I'm the VHS king. There's a lot of people out there though, but I rented videos almost every weekend, 2 or 3
Listen,
videos, and I would
Blockbuster,
dub it.
Blockbuster and Hollywood Video was a thing, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you go to the video store and you find yourself making life decisions. Which video do I rent? Do I rent this one? Do I rent that one? Whereas nowadays we're spoiled. I have pretty much all the streaming networks: Netflix, Paramount, Apple TV Plus, which is low key amazing.
Really?
It, yeah, Apple TV Plus got some gems. It doesn't have as much content as a lot of the other ones, but the ones that they do have, man, you could see they put a lot of money into it. But then again, it's Apple, so they could afford to
Yeah, yeah.
make their budget for their stuff look really, really good.
They got the
But
budget.
yeah, man, DVDs. Now it's safe to say Blu-rays too. DVDs, Blu-rays, and VHSs. That's
You
my
know,
remember when.
you know what's funny? Blu-rays, it feels like didn't last that long because VHS was in
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
DVDs, it had its time, but Blu-ray, I'm like, wait,
So
that was a
so
short stint.
so there was DVD. Then they had two different ones that came out at the same time. One was Blu-ray. One was high HD DVD.
Hmm.
But then HD DVD wasn't that successful and completely disappeared, and then Blu-ray held that spot. But
Yep.
Blu-ray was popular around the time that streaming was just now taking off. So that's why Blu-ray was like it kind of slowly faded into the background. Some people still get them, but um, it's actually smart to have a Blu-ray player in the event that there's no internet.
Mm,
You know, you got a
yeah.
nice little library of discs that you can put in, and you're all set. But yeah, everything is like a non-tangible streaming. Like you pay a set price to get all of the movies,
Yeah.
all of them.
Ridiculous.
You
Ridiculous.
know, so there's no such thing as I have a personal collection. You just let me just go to my library, my list, my
Yeah.
recommendations.
Yo, I used to be proud of my collection too. Whether we talk about movies on VHS or the DVD collection was better, right? Because you had
Mhm.
that image on the disc
Yep,
of your favorite
and you could
movie.
read the summary in the back,
You
and
could
then you
read the
kind of get an
summary.
idea of what it was about.
Mm. All
Yep.
right. That was good. That was good. Number two, my number two, to make copies of a tape. Yo, first let's get the ages though. I'm 50 now and you're
I'm 36.
36. So
Yep.
we still grew up. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But to make
we've
copies
seen
of
some
it,
things.
yeah, of a tape, you had two tape decks, one for
Mm-hmm.
recording, one for playing. Then now we know we had the burning of the CDs, but now
Yep.
everything's just drop and drag it to a folder, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the crazy thing about dubbing a tape is when you're doing it, you have to have silence in your room because if someone comes in and that noise catches, it's like, oh
Mm-hmm.
man, and you don't want to
Yep.
start all over.
Mm-hmm. So once again, mine is piggybacking off of the one that you just said. So mine is burnt CDs that custom burnt CDs that you would
Custom.
make for people
Yeah.
based off of the downloading software you had, whether it was Morpheus or
Oh,
LimeWire or
oh,
Kazaa.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. I just hated when like you'll download a song and it takes hours at a time for it to download, only for you to click play on the song and
I
it's
know
the
you're gonna
wrong
say.
song
I know
because
you're
it's
gonna say.
mislabeled. There was no way to preview it. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. You
Yo,
download it, you take a chance. I hope this is the right song. Click. Okay, good. All right, I can burn this on CD.
yo, I
I used to make
remember
a
that.
I used to make a killing when I was in school, man. I used to get people's list recommendations,
Mm.
go home, burn the disc, sell it for like $5, $10 a pop. So nice,
Wow.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm glad you mentioned that one because first of all, yeah, when Morpheus came about, that's how I got a lot of my songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kaza. But you know who benefited off that? Like Soldier Boy said he
Yep.
used to put different names, like big popular names of artists, and then it
Only
would
for
be
only
his
for it to
track.
be his song. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and then people end up liking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was smart for the
It was
time,
like
though.
he brainwashed everybody into liking his stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, the last thing I'm gonna say too is the burning of CDs. Yeah, that's a good one you brought up because you could buy the pack at whatever store, buy a pack of 20, 30, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
just burn your songs on it.
Yep.
Custom. Mm. All
I
right.
used to I used to go the extra mile and get the stickers for the labels.
No, you didn't. You did.
So like they could make it feel extra special and be like, oh, it's a custom CD. It's not just a CD that says Maxell on it or whatever the brand of the CD was. It was a custom designed label that I put on there for them.
Nice. All right. Number three. This goes with the VCR thing, but I think it's kind of
Okay,
different, right? You know, it's kind of say before VCRs, if you missed your TV show, you missed your show. You weren't seeing that
that's it.
unless they had reruns. Now
Mm-hmm.
you can binge watch things in one day if it has
Yeah,
a season of
entire
whatever, right?
seasons instead of waiting
Yeah.
week by week. You could watch an entire season in a matter of hours.
Mm.
So,
Did you have one like that,
um,
or your number three is
no,
different?
I actually have. Well, in keeping with the one that we did before,
Mm.
um, Walkmans and Discmans. Walkmans and Discmans. And back then it was like a huge deal to have a Discman that was anti-skip. So like if you bumped into anything, you were still jamming.
You-
Nothing stopped. So yep. That's
Yeah,
that's definitely a classic for me.
yo, I gotta tell you though, I didn't have a Discman. Like, of course, I had a Walkman. I grew up.
Uh-huh.
in that era where you had a
Yeah.
Walkman when you can afford it or whatever. But the whole thing with the Walkman was the batteries, man. The batteries, you would wear that
Yep.
thing out,
That
right?
was a pain. That was a
Mm,
pain. That's why I tried to hack the system by getting chargeable batteries.
yes.
So I just charge them. Okay, all right, boom. Oh, the battery's dead. No big deal. Just charge them. So yeah,
Yo, did you do
I was
the
thinking ahead.
did you do the battery rubbing on the when your batteries run out, did you rub them on the couch and stuff to
I did
recharge them?
that. I also did the thing where, and this is something that my grandmother had me believe, where I would put the batteries in the fridge
I heard about
and
that.
wait a little bit and then put it back in it. And I think that it would give it some extra juice, even though
Yeah.
like now as an adult, I know that did absolutely nothing.
I heard
But
about that.
but at the time I'm like, all right, I gotta keep it in the fridge a little longer so I can get some more life.
Yo, you know
Yeah,
what about
man.
staying on the headphones for a minute or being the Walkman? I want to talk about headphones because I don't know if you did this, but sometimes I wore out my headphones where the wire one side wouldn't work and you have to like hold it
Oh,
sometimes
I
to keep it
hated
playing.
that. I hated that. Well, I would have to situate my right there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Don't move. Don't move. Okay.
Damn it. Yeah. Until it'll finally just conk out on you.
Yep.
All right. Number four, before GPS, if you didn't have a map book,
Ooh.
you were unfamiliar with your area, you were lost. Like you're
Yeah.
lost. That's it.
Yeah.
Gas station. Where am I?
Mhm. Yep. And then once again, piggybacking off of that,
Mm.
MapQuest.
Oh my
MapQuest
gosh.
and
Yeah.
Yahoo Maps. If you had to get somewhere, you would go home, you print the directions, I guess to and from,
Mm.
and then you get in the car and you look at the paper and you go based on the paper looking for landmarks to match what the paper was saying.
Yo, that
Yeah.
was a good one. You know, I remember again that map quest, those days were short. For me, I didn't do a lot of traveling, so I didn't need it that much. But I remember if I was going somewhere, party, this, I'd have to print that out, and then you
Yeah.
just follow that out. MapQuest, oh my God.
So MapQuest and Yahoo Maps, but mostly MapQuest.
Yo, you see it now though, where you can just GPS find the fastest route.
Oh yeah, real quick.
Mm.
You can get your current location and then get directions to another location from your current location and then get the reverse lookup. It's crazy.
It's
It's a
crazy.
lot.
But you know, with everything, you know how technology, there's always the pros and the cons. I really like this though, because when I went to Florida, remember, I went to
Mhm.
Pennsylvania, went to Jersey. If I didn't have my GPS on, it's crazy. Like I
Yeah.
can't Google
Yeah.
all these places and find out what streets to turn on. So
Yeah. It was a
GPS
struggle.
really helped out, man. All right. You know what's crazy? Like it seems like everything is kind of familiar, like what we both have probably, right?
It's
Because
like they're
my next
flowing
one,
together.
yeah, the next one still falls in line with what we were talking about. Remember when we had to create a mixtape? So when I had to create
Yeah.
my own mixtape, I had to wait for my favorite songs and then have my nice lineup that I want. And it could take weeks for
Yep.
me to just record, got
Yep.
that song until I had the 60 minutes or whatever it
You
was.
had to make sure you recorded at just the right time. And then what I hated was when the person on the
Yeah.
radio station would cut it off in the end. I'd be like, ah. So piggybacking off of that,
Yeah.
this goes into before I started recording my own music, I would write raps pretending to be featured on other people's songs, right? Then when that song would air on the radio, I would record that one. Then I'd get a blank tape, put it on the other side, play the tape with the original song on it. And then when there was an open space of just the instrumental, I'd record my rap over it onto the other tape.
Yeah.
Then I'd play that tape for people and be like, yo, it's Brandy featuring me.
What?
Yo, it's LL Cool J featuring me. And then I'd play it for them. And back in the day, a lot of us kids are naive. You're like, oh, how'd you get on the song with so and so? Be like, hey man, it is what it is, man. What it is, man. So that was my bootleg studio recording time.
Wow, that was creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Yeah.
good. That was good. Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that the radio DJ cutting in before the end of the song, man.
Yeah.
No
I hated that.
respect.
And then the underground, forget the underground stations. But they
Yeah.
cut off the song every 5 seconds. Like, all right, everybody, get crunk, get crunk. Hey, shout out to like I'm like, okay, can you let the song play? Can you let the song? I
Trust
don't want to
me.
hear you. I want to hear the song. Crazy.
Trust me. All right, next one. Yo, remember this one? You have to remember this because you're the age too, man.
Mhm.
Walking with quarters in case you had to make a phone call at a payphone. I don't see payphones around
Yeah,
anymore. I feel sorry for people that don't have a cell phone because not everyone can have a cell phone. I'm
yeah,
sure of it. But yeah, quarters.
yeah. No, no. I would walk around with coins in my pockets for that purpose, and just in case I cross paths with the vending machine, and
Okay.
I wanted a snack, or I wanted some drink or something like that.
Mm,
There was always a vending machine on every corner store,
mm,
and hopefully it had the thing that I wanted.
yeah.
So nowadays it's like you could use your card and everything. There's this one day, man, where I went to a vending machine and I put my money in and it said thank you. That was it. I didn't get my drink, I get
Nothing
my
came.
nothing, just thank you. And I couldn't get too upset because it was so polite. But you know, it I just that was I took that L. I took that L that
I
day.
took that out. Yo, I think maybe that maybe this happens to be once in a while where you put your money in and you see the thing coming out though sometimes and
And then
then
it
it
gets stuck.
pauses, right? Stuck.
Oh,
But the banging, man, the banging, it didn't help,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
You bang,
Or if you
bang.
you shake the machine,
Yeah.
you get lucky enough to get it out. Yeah,
I see some people desperate. You know where the chips or the pop come out? And if it got
yeah.
stuck, they stick their
They
hand
reach
up.
it.
That
That's why
yeah,
they
man.
created that new thing where it blocks it out, so you can't even do that anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like when
Yeah.
you try to put your hand under the flipper
Mm.
inside, it closes shut. It's like,
Oh.
oh, they got real smart.
Yo, gee, that was a good one. That was a good one. All right. Wait, did you say yours?
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah,
That was
that was
mine.
yours, right?
Because a lot of
Okay.
mine are very related.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7. Remember when you were out, man. No one could find you. Nobody could find you. So there was no tracking. If you didn't have a cell phone and you didn't have
Mm-hmm.
quarters, you were out. My
Yeah,
parents used to worry, man, especially my mom. Like when I was out, man. I don't
yeah.
know if you remember those days, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. You had to come home when the street lights came on. Yeah, it's listen. I think we live in a time now where we have more peace of mind because we
Mm,
have the ability to know where everybody is at all times. But back
yeah.
then, you had to be built different.
You know
You had to be
what?
like, look, my son's gonna be back at such and such a time because I told him he'd be.
Yes.
You
But
know?
yo, gee, you know what's crazy though? In a weird way, I worry more about my daughter. So she has a phone. If she doesn't answer her phone or her text, it's the same kind of worry that you had back in
It's
the
the
days. You don't know
anxiety.
where they are.
Yeah,
But
it's going from one extreme to another. It's on one extreme, you have no means of knowing where they are or what
mm,
they're doing.
mm,
But now on this side, you know where they are.
mm.
And because you know where they are, you're constantly checking to make sure that they're okay based on their location. And if they don't answer their phone,
Yeah.
because you know where they are, now you're like, how come they're not answering the phone? I see where they
Exactly.
are. Why are
Yo.
they? So yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. I
Yeah.
completely get that. Um, okay, so mine is not totally related,
Mm.
but this is more technology based. Remember every movie or cartoon you watched, there was always a storyline where somebody had to get a floppy disk to somebody because it had super important world saving information.
Wait. Wait. Is this my
Floppy
era?
disks.
I know the floppy disk though, but
Floppy
oh
disks.
man, floppy
Like
disk, man.
like today, our version of that is like maybe a flash drive
Oh, USB, right?
and it
Or
holds way more,
yeah,
but floppy disks were a
I know.
thing.
Yo,
Floppy disks were a
I'm trying to remember if I
thing.
seen any shows like that where they had to get the flop. You know what? I movies.
Yep.
Movies, I think
Movies and shows.
God,
Yep.
get the disc. But yeah, floppy disk, man. I don't know if some of the listeners that are young would even know what that is, bro. I
Yeah.
don't
Like, what
know,
you mean
man.
floppy disk?
What
Yeah. It's not like a. I'll send you the picture.
you have to put it in the tower and then
Yep.
close
And
that
then
thing, right?
it was a
This,
pain. It
man.
was such a pain.
Yeah, that was a good one. So wait, we went from just think of it, right? When computers came around, we went from floppy disk, right? Then
Yep.
it went to CDs, DVDs to save information or whatever,
Yeah.
right? And plus you had your storage on your computer, but I mean like something you could eject and you
Hmm.
have in your hand. Um, and now it's the USBs, and now
Yep.
it's what the cloud, right? Just
That's
save
the
it in the
cloud.
cloud.
That's the cloud. Yep.
Crazy,
It's
man.
wild. Like you don't
Mhm,
even need a flash drive anymore. You just just save it on my cloud and I just open it somewhere else.
mhm. But you know what I
It's
don't like
crazy
about that, right?
because
Like
other people
you
can hack into it,
hack into it,
gain
and
access to it.
what if everything gets lost somehow? Like it's done, like there's no access, and
Yeah.
then
What if there's some type of EMP, like electromagnetic pulse that just knocks out everything. You
mm,
have access to nothing.
crazy.
Nothing. You can't
Mm,
even watch your shows because we've been so dependent on watching things on streaming platforms that if those servers go down, what you gonna watch?
yeah, goes
You
back to
pull out
what you
these
said.
DVD and Blu-ray
Yeah,
players.
yeah, it goes back to what you
So
said. All right. Yo, we're on a roll. We're almost done. All right.
yeah, man.
Number 8. Man, you got to know this one, man. Memorizing phone numbers. I
Oh,
used to know everybody's phone number, all my friends, my parents, everybody. And
yeah,
now I can't even remember my own phone number sometimes, bro.
yeah, yep.
Mm,
That's I only remember my wife's, which I better.
mm.
Um, my dad's and my grandmother's. Everybody else, I gotta actually look at the phone and see the number.
Yeah. That's not
Um,
good, man.
so my
Mm.
number 8 is remember when you had to borrow money from people and you actually had to physically have money.
Yeah.
And now, hey man, just cash at me or Venmo me. Yeah,
Yeah.
just here's my cash app. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
it's so easy to send and receive money now
Yeah.
with those platforms. Whereas back in the day, you physically had to meet the person
You have to
and give
go to
them the
there.
money. And then
Yo,
the crazy thing about that is you had a built-in excuse of why you never paid somebody back. Oh, because I never see you.
I
I can't
never
get you the
see.
money. Now it's like, no, it's okay. You don't have to see me. I just texted you my cash app, bro.
Yeah.
Cash at me. You know,
Just transfer that. Transfer that. Yo,
just
you
send
know
it
what?
over. I don't
You
need to
know,
see you.
you know what's funny though? We don't have Cash App, and I don't think we have Venmo here in Canada.
Okay.
You don't. I
What about
remember
PayPal
we have PayPal,
and
and we
Zelle?
we just do e-transfers,
Oh, yeah,
so
okay, okay.
bank to bank. But yeah, I remember when Wrench Turner, I had him on, and I was buying some of his clothing, and he said you can Cash App. I'm like, I don't. We don't get Cash App in Canada. Venmo,
Yeah,
we don't get that in Canada, right?
yeah.
So we use PayPal. And I tried
Okay.
to e-transfer him, but it didn't work. I guess the country didn't work,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah. But Cash App, that's a good thing then.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift in which it makes it easy for you to send payments.
Yeah.
It's a curse because if you did borrow money from somebody, there's no excuse as to why you couldn't pay it back.
Yeah, it goes back to why you had it on the list, boy.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, number 9. My number 9. Wow, it's pictures now, man. When you took a picture, you took a picture, man. You couldn't erase it. You couldn't try again. And you had to develop it at the store unless you had the
Unless you had a
Polaroid.
Polaroid. Yep.
Yes. Unless you had that Polaroid. But
Yep.
so we had pictures with thumbs in the way, blurry, all these kind of things, right? But yeah, so
Yeah. You had to
convenient.
make sure you got that picture right
Oh man, you have to make sure,
because
boy.
with nowadays with your phone, oh, I
Mm,
don't like it. Let me delete it, do it over. Boop, done. You know?
crazy. Yeah.
Um, Same thing with so mine is the capability of videoing with your
Mm,
phone versus back then when you had the big giant cameras that you would hold like this or you had it on your shoulder, or or even the more modern ones where you would hold like this, like it's a giant football. It
Yeah.
was it was a struggle.
Yo, I never had that. I had that little camcorder, but
Mhm.
I remember seeing some hip
You
hop
had the little
video.
mini tapes, right? Where
Yeah,
you
the mini tapes.
yeah.
Yes. But I remember seeing some hip hop videos, like documentaries, where they're like, puffing in
Mhm.
wherever, Miami or whatever they were. And all their mans
Yep.
them had the camcorder, the
With the
videotape
headphones
recorder.
on.
Yeah, the
Yep.
big ones, right?
And they would look through the lens
Yes.
finder instead of the flip out screen
The
that people were
flip
so
phones.
used to. Yep.
Wait, what? So what
Yeah.
was your first one?
My first one was I know it was a Sony. I know the brand was Sony,
Mm,
and it was the one with the mini DV tapes, but it wasn't one of these. It was like
yeah, I know what you mean.
it was like, you know what I'm talking about, where you kind of
Mhm.
hold it like this, where it's like
Yeah,
a big giant, like the lens was here, but then you could kind of hold it with two hands.
yeah, I know that
That's
one.
the one the
I know
first
that
one that
one.
I had.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. All right. GQ. Number
Yes,
10.
sir.
Last one. This has been nice. This has been nice. This one is a ode to my friend Jamal. Going out with your friends, man. There was a lot of coordination. I don't know if you did the same thing in Florida, man, but there was a lot of coordination
Mhm.
because we only had the landlines, man. Didn't have cell phones.
Yep.
So we used to like coordinate the meetups on the bus. We were lucky. Different friends were different things, but me and Jamal lived on the Victoria Park line. Like I lived at
Okay.
Victoria Park in Ellesmere. He lived at Victoria Park in Finch. That's like a few bus stops away, right?
Yeah.
And he would tell me like, okay, we're leaving. He's leaving now. So then I would go out 5 minutes because I know it takes more than 5 minutes. But
Mhm.
then what we had to do is he had to stand at the window on the bus. So if more were passing, I would know which one he's on because he has to wave at me. Then I
Yep.
could go on the bus. Now it's crazy. You just pick up the phone.
Oh yeah, Uber,
Uber, all the
Lyft,
things.
man. Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
last one.
That's all right. Let me see which one I want to choose for my final one. Okay. I'm torn between two, but I think I talked about at the last time that we had a video together. I talked about how people are using Google versus libraries now.
Yes.
Right. So I talked about, so I don't need to bring that one up.
Mm.
LA Gear sneakers, the light up sneakers. When I was in elementary school, boy, let me tell you, I made sure that anytime I was in the dark, I was stomping my feet. I wanted people to know that I got the new LA Gear lights. Yes, listen, it may not be a thing now, but till this day,
Uh,
I'll get an LA Gear pair right now
yeah.
and wear it because those shoes were fresh.
The light ups, were
Those
they
shoes were
expensive
fresh.
though?
They Well, you know what? I'm too. At the time, I was too young to realize if it was expensive or not.
Mm,
I don't think they are. Um, like maybe 30, 40 bucks. I think back then it was expensive, but
mm.
man,
LA Gear light
always had the
ups.
LA Gear lights, LA
Yes.
Gear light up sneakers.
Okay,
My
so
favorite.
I want to stay on this topic for a minute though, because that was a good one. But because we're from Toronto, I'm from Toronto, and we were so close to New York,
Yeah.
and we were into the hip hop and all that, right? So we caught the fashion trends of New York. But
Mhm.
did you have the fat laces back in the days? Did you wear fat
No,
laces?
I was actually partial to the Velcro
Oh,
because I was too
really?
lazy. I ain't like tying my sneakers that much. I would sometimes, heck, I would bundle them things up and tuck them in,
Mm,
or I would have the sneakers that had both Velcro and shoelaces.
mm.
I would tuck in the shoelaces and throw the Velcro over it. So I had
Oh,
the three or two little swoop overs. Yeah,
yeah. Yo, I
I
think
like those.
you know what? I think you missed my era though. That we had
Mhm.
actual colored fat laces, like blue,
Okay.
and the girls would wear pink, and you just
Mm.
you put them in the way in your shoe. You know how the shoes usually crisscross with the
Yeah,
laces?
yeah.
The fat laces were just straight over. You just
Okay.
put them straight over, and
I
they were
remember
blue or
seeing
regular.
those.
Yeah, that was us back in the days. All
Yeah.
right. Yo, G, this has been good.
Yes,
Nice
sir.
podcast. But I always do the donation. And this is
Okay.
season 9, man. This is your second appearance on Real Talk.
Okay.
Oh, so for season 9, who I'm donating to is the Fundraiser Warriors, Claws, Kawartha Lakes Animal Wellness Society, and then my boy Kevin Blagrove. He has a nonprofit called Juku Sports Academy,
Okay.
and I'm donating to them for this season. So by my hands, what do you want me to pop? The left, the middle, or the right?
Um, the other dark pink one on the outside.
Got
Yes.
it. Got it. All right, season 9. Star Scorpio will be donating to. Yeah, it doesn't show up now anymore. The Fundraiser Warriors. Amazing.
Fundraiser
Amazing.
Warriors. Okay.
Yes. All right, G, this has been amazing. You know, you're gonna be one of my regular guests on the podcast. I'm
I have
doing
no
this for
problem
fun
with it.
now, man.
No
I
problem
love
with that at
having you
all.
on. Yes. Anything you want to say before we sign off?
Listen, man. Star Scorpio, keep doing your thing. I keep, even though I have a somewhat of a busy life, I still pop in and see you doing a couple of episodes, and I thoroughly enjoy the interactions you have with these different people, as well as the cause with donating to people every episode. And I admire that about you. It's really, really dope to see. So
Mm.
keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and we're definitely gonna keep collaborating. So,
Yes, brother. All right. Have a
so
happy new year.
you too, man. You
Yes.
send my love to you and the family.
Mhm.
Enjoy yourself, be safe, and just keep being you.
Yes. Thank you. All right. This is Real Talk with Star Scorpio, and we out.